Yeah, page 11. So the Rebbe, we're holding it down in the Maimah. We'll finish it today, and the Rebbe explains that that the Chiddush, the Rashi, the first Rashi on the Torah and Bereshis in the Genesis, the Rashi brings down a Medrash that the question the Medrash asks is why would the Torah start with Bereshis Bar Lakim when it should have started with the first mitzvah? The first mitzvah, the Chodesh Hazeh Lachem Reis Chodashim. And Chassidus explains, Bekitzer, in short, that Chodesh Reis Chodashim, why is that the first mitzvah in the Torah? Because that is the whole purpose of the concept of the connection of the upper worlds and the lower worlds. That was the whole purpose of the giving of the Torah, to be able to bring down the upper worlds and the lower worlds and unite them as one. In Chassidus and Kabbalah, it's the concept of Soviv Kalam and Malakalam, to be able to connect the way the Oid Ein Soif, the way where God is above Tzimtzum, higher than before God made a Tzimtzum, a contraction, and then came down to be able to come Oidus in Kalim, to come lights in vessels, there had to be a Tzimtzum, which not Kapshute, only it doesn't mean Tzimtzum in reality, but thus means to us, God had to, so to say, hide himself, and through contracting himself to us, that we saw that as a contraction, the Eibishter came down and oil, a light that had the capability to come down into vessels. But the avoid of a Yid is to be able to bring the light that's above vessels and to bring it into even a vessel. And that is the whole concept of Torah mitzvahs. But the Yid needs to go even higher, the Rebbe says. A Jew must go even higher. And that's why the Torah starts off, Bereshis Bar Lakim, Rashi says, and it brings this medrash, that the Torah starts off with Bereshis Bar Lakim to teach us one thing, and that is, that's going to come a time that the Eibishter is going to want to give that it's Yisrael to Am Yisrael, to the Jewish nation. And the nations of the world are going to say, Listim atem, you are a bunch of Ganovim, you're stealing from us this land. And the answer is simple. The answer needs to be given as simple. The Eibishter, God created the world. And with his own free will, he gave it to them, to the 7 nations. And with his own free will, he has now given it to Am Yisrael. Why did he give it to Am Yisrael? So the question was why? Why would God give it to the 7 nations? In his own free will, he gave it to them. Why would God give it to the 7 nations and then take it away from them? So the point is, Nachlas Goyim, Loslam Nachlas Goyim. God wanted that a Jew would change it, Nachla, would take an inheritance, something that belongs to somebody else, and like a Nachla, inheritance now becomes the property of something of A. So property A becomes property B. So too God wanted a property A, Sheva Mamis. The property is simple, in simple terms. The property that belonged to the nations of the world should now become a Nachla, become an inheritance of the Jewish people. In Chassidus, in more in a spiritual sense, is God wanted that the 7 nations, which is the 7 middays, the 7 characteristics of a human being, that a Jew would ultimately transform his physical side of himself. He'll make his 7 nations, so to say, his 7 attributes, his 7 middays, and it would elevate them. And they'll become Kedusha, they'll become holy. And that's a Davar Chadash. That's not stam a continuation of Oidus and vessels. That's a transformation. That's what you call Ur Chadash, a new light. A total transformation. Which that comes about through Avodas HaBerurim. That comes about, Kabbalah says, through the Avodah of Birur. Birur means rectification, development, sifting. That takes effort. Even though if a Jew puts a little effort in, it'll happen. Because that's the way God wanted. But it takes some effort. A person has to refine something. He can't just go through life and doing everything right, but not refining himself. Person needs to refine himself. That's Avodas HaBerurim. That's a...
What's the reason of all this thing, Rabbeinu? I want to give you this land, but I want you to fight for it.
The Sava Kodesh Baruch Hu.
Give us the land and tell the others,
No, the Eibishter wanted Avodas Adam. God wanted the service of a human being. As the Eibishter put Adam Edition in Gan Eden, La'avda L'Shamra, to work it and to watch it. So God wanted. Then what do you need you for? If the Eibishter could have created people living in Gan Eden, and there's no service of the human being, so what does he need? What does he need a human being for? The purpose of a human being is that the person would be a partner in creation. That the person would be a partner in creation, feel like a partner in creation, and it will actually transform the world. The Sava Kodesh Baruch Hu Liyas Le'Dira B'Tachtoinim. The Eibishter wanted a dwelling place B'Tachtoinim, in the lowest parts of the world. And only a human being that deals with the lowest parts of the world can ultimately change the lowest parts of the world. So that's where a person, Hashem Mitzadi, it's a general concept, Hashem Mitzadi Gavi Kanana, wherever you are supposed to be. Oh, we should all be in Israel right now. What are we doing in Boca? We should all be in Israel. We should all be a holy Jew. No, you're in Boca, you're in this, wherever you're supposed to be, because God wants you to be here right now. And the Eibishter wants you, not because he has nothing, because there's not enough money in Israel, there's not enough food in Israel, there's enough everything there. God wants you to be here, because God wants you to accomplish something here. And especially in a spiritual way. Famous story, the Friedrich Rabbi used to give the mashal of the Jew who needed to travel from Warsaw to Leipzig. In those days, in the early 1900s, if you wanted to go from Warsaw to Leipzig, you had to hire a balagola. A balagola. You had to hire a wagon and a wagon driver. So the Friedrich Rabbi said when they're traveling from Warsaw to Leipzig, there are certain different thoughts. Right? There's the Ferd. What is the Ferd? What is the horse thinking about? Why is he running to Leipzig? Because there's more hay in Leipzig. There's not enough hay in Warsaw. He's got to run to Leipzig. Right? The horse is thinking that there's hay. The faster he gets to Leipzig, that's where he's going to have his hay. You better get there fast. The Balagola is thinking about money. He goes from Navarta to Leipzig because he needs to, it's $50 a mile, whatever it is. But what's the true reason they're going to Leipzig? They're going to Leipzig because the guy inside the wagon, the two guys, or the one guy inside the wagon needs to accomplish something in Leipzig. So the Friedrich Rebbe said, in essence, you can go through life and you can think like a Fed. You can think like a horse. There's not enough hay in wherever you came from. And push it over here, there's more hay. So that's thinking like a horse. I got to get to someplace else because there's more hay there. So you want to think like a Fed. He said that Friedrich said, Moldaf schmeißen the Fed, that sometimes you have to whip the Fed, that it should stop thinking like a Fed. It should stop thinking like a horse. Start thinking like a human being. But we think like a nefesh. We think like with our midas. We're here because whatever. It's bad there. Or it's bad there. It's bad there, so we're here. No, you're here because here the Eibishter sent you. Stop thinking like a horse. God brought you here for a purpose. He didn't bring you even though he brought you to this place, and he brought you to this situation, he brought you to this maimed matzav, this kind of situation you're in, because here is where you need to be. And here's where God wants you to find something that you'll be able to elevate, maybe something that was never brought here at that time, aspect of godness, and I could do that concept right now. And if I would realize that, I would accomplish my mission, the purpose of why I'm here in this time. So that's the beauty. So the Rebbe said, well, hold it on page 11, number 4, we're trying to finish the Maimah. The fact that Hashem only gave this land to the nations for a certain amount of time in order to make it possible to take it away from them and give it to the Jewish people. Referring to Revelation, the essence, so the Eibishter said, the Jewish people, think about it a second, the Jewish people at that time were in the desert for 40 years. They had spirituality. They had great leaders. They had everything they wanted, right? They had the Mishkan. They had the Mammon HaShamayim. They had everything. They were Gan Eden. They were like in paradise. They were in paradise. They kvetch because they're Jews, but they were in paradise. But they were in paradise. They were, right? They didn't have to, the clothes grew on them. They cleaned on them.
No slaves.
They had everything they wanted. They didn't need anything. They had mamish everything. They had everything they wanted. But then the Eibishter said, no, I want you to go to Eretz Yisrael. I want you to go now fight for the land. They said, you're kidding me. Right? We like it here. Why do we need to go and fight for a land? Then we need to plow the land. We have to all become farmers. Who wants to do that? Who wants to Avodas HaBerurim? Who wants to go now and deal? And they didn't want to go to Eretz Yisrael. You wouldn't either want to go do that either. Most of us wouldn't do it either. You can always say the other, you can blame them. If you were sitting in a lap of luxury, spiritually and physically, why would you want to leave it? Why would you say, no, okay, I'm going to leave it, I'm going to start to have to go to, no, we're fine, everything's fine, right? Maybe you should know, that's not the Avodah. Because you talk have Oidus, you're having revelation, and you have Moshe Rabbeinu, you have the Mishkan, you have Adonai Kohen. It's Machaya. Imagine sitting in Torah, you got to go to work. You sat in Torah 24/7. It's unbelievable. So that's Oidus, that's unbelievable. That's like Mashiach's times. Unbelievable. They said no, because that's not the Avodas HaBerurim. I need you to rectify the world. We're in a desert. We need to ultimately elevate it slow. We need to create the world. And the Yidden didn't want to do that at that time. But ultimately, that's the whole purpose. Why? Because it's not only about Oidus and Kalim. It's not only about lights and vessels. It's about it's about Atzmos. It's about reaching the essence, which is higher than Oidus and Kalim. It's the essence of Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Sava Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's you see the concept. The Chassidus says, you see in the Medish, the Tzoynoi, the Ratzon of the Eibishter. The Ratzon is higher. Ratzon is will. Where a will of a person is, that's where he is. Why? Because Ratzon is even higher than Chachma, right? Ratzon has no vessel, right? Everything has a vessel in the body. Ratzon, the will of a person, is l'maylim. It's pushed. That's why, in essence, why is it hard for us to learn? Because we don't have a ratzon to learn. Why is it hard for us to do things? Because we don't have a ratzon. If we had a ratzon, we would we'd run to it.
Ratzon is desire?
Yeah. Desire, a will. I have a desire for it. It's a geschmack. I run to it. Comes to the ratzon. I run to it. Right? Geschmack is a delight. I have a delight in it. I run to it with something that I have a delight in. I run to, right? Why I'm not running? I'm fetching myself all the way to it because I'm doing it because I have to do it. Whatever, it's a commandment of Shamayim, whatever it might be. I'm afraid of God. I'm afraid of my wife. But I don't have a ratzon. If I had a ratzon,
No, you're never afraid.
It would be unbelievable.
I have a guy.
Yeah.
Tiling the second bedroom. It's his own business. He's self-employed, and he only gets paid by the job. So yesterday he came in the morning, 8:30. He pulled all the furniture out, put down the stuff, the soundproofing stuff, and he has half the thing tiled already because he knows he has to. He'll get more money if he does this fast. There you go. So I'm just saying that he has a will to move.
That's it. You have to create a ratzon. A ratzon, a real ratzon. If you had a ratzon, everything would be good. That's what he said. I say it tzeincha, k'ritzeinu. Ratzon. It's all about the ratzon. The Eibishter had a ratzon, but it's tzeincha, his own free will. He gave it to the nefesh, to the nations of the world. With his own free will, he gave it to us. The Eibishter ratzon, and we're trying to reveal the tzeincha shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Actually, the Gemara says, why is it called Eretz Yisrael? Eretz Sheratz. It's a land that runs, has a ratzon. The land has a ratzon to do the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The ratzon of the land is to do the will of God. So that's the power of Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is not like any other nation because it has within it the tzeincha shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It has within it the ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Over here, the whole world was created. The Rambam Maimonides says the whole world was created for Eretz Yisrael. The whole purpose of creation is in Eretz Yisrael. The truth is, the nations of the world see that concept. Sometimes more than the Yidden see the concept. The nation, not the nations, it's their subtle Amaila. It's their angels above that see the greatness and try to keep Jews away from Eretz Yisrael as much as possible, as much as they can. Why? Because they don't want to. They scream, "You're Steelers. We belong here." Like I said, the mashal, if you're till 13 years old, your nefesh Bahamas is part of you, and then your nefesh Elokis comes at 13 years old. It moves in. Your nefesh Bahamas says, "I'm here." You can't just come over. You can't just move in. Who invited you? You can't just take over. You're second. You'll be the second. Second. The truth is, the Gemara says that the Eibishter, that's what gives you 7 years. It doesn't judge you for 7 years till you're 20 years old. Right? It doesn't judge you because you're moving and a new guy's moving in. And for him to inherit the body, it takes time. Can't just walk in, Shalom Aleichem, I'm here, I'm taking over. No, your animalistic soul says no. I'm the king here. You cannot just come here and take over.
It took me like another 20 years.
Yeah. For men, it might take longer. So that's the way it is. Means if a Jew. So that's why, really, the battle of a Yid, the battle of a Yid is not really in the action. The battle of a Yid is in his Ratzon too. Is in his Ratzon. If he had the Ratzon, then the action will be easy. Because that's nothing. The goof, the physical wants it also in its essence. The goof wants it. The problem is the Ratzon doesn't want it. I don't want it. So the battle is not in the action. The battle is in my machshava. If I had made a commitment b'machshava to have a Ratzon, then nothing would stop. Then the action would be easy.
Who's
it would come easy.
Who is I?
Me, Zalman Bukiet.
Who is I?
My Ratzon.
Who's controlling the
My-
neshama or the goof?
What?
Who's controlling the ratzon? The neshama or the goof?
Me.
Who's me?
Who's me?
My machshava, my thought.
Who was this?
You want to know who I am, really?
No. Who's controlling the ratzon?
Me.
Again, me.
Zalman Bukiet.
But you are built out of neshama, the goof.
No, but I have a
So the
seichel.
goof is
My
telling the
seichel. My
neshama what
seichel.
to do.
My seichel. No, my seichel.
You say.
My seichel. My intellect. My seichel. My seichel.
Is
Chachma
that
bin.
considered as
Chachma bin Adas.
neshama or goof?
No, that's part of my nefesh hasichlis.
Nefesh and sichlit.
Yes,
זה
nefesh
כלול
hasichlis.
בנשמה או בגוף?
It's interconnected. They're both interconnected. My neshama and my guf cannot ultimately
Function
accomplish
without
each other.
Right.
Right. So be my
But
seichel.
who's controlling the brain?
Me.
Again, is me.
Me.
But you're not giving me the share of who's holding on to it.
The Alter Rebbe in Lun Tanya says one thing that you cannot force upon a person, where a person has total free choice, and that's in the machshav, in his thoughts. You cannot control a person's thought. I can put you in prison. I can force you to do something. I cannot force you to think something. You have total free choice in your machshava. Watching. Doesn't make a difference. You cannot. You always can overcome it. The Eibishter always gives you free choice in your machshava. So you have the power to change your thought. And if anybody tells you the opposite, you push it, it's not true. So you always can think different. The truth is, you don't even know what tzaddik, that's a machshava. You don't know what tzaddik, you don't know his machshava. You don't know what a person's really thinking. A person might be saying something beautiful. You don't know what he's really thinking. You might even see a person doing unbelievable things. You don't know what he's thinking. He could be thinking dvarim asurim gemurim. He could be thinking about the most worst things in the world. You don't know. Therefore, that's Zekal Adam. The Alter Rebbe writes Zekal Adam, the machshava, the way he thinks. That's your free choice. Your way you think. You could be forced to do things. Most of us do things out of rote. We do things because that's the way we're brought up. Our father taught us, our grandfather taught us, and that's what our teacher taught us. That's the way we're robots. We are robots, in a way. Nobody ever sat and said, why am I doing this? What am I doing this? Oh, because that's it. Go out, go away. Start thinking different. Stop it already. Think different. Have a different machshava. Change your machshava. Maybe if you change your machshava, you'll change your dibur, and you'll change your ma'aser. But if you're never going to change my machshava, 100%. And why your machshava thinks that way? Because also connected to your ratzon. Ultimately connected to your ratzon. Because what's your true desire? So your machshava connects your ratzon. You need to start thinking different to create a new ratzon. To create a new ratzon. You can get 100%. 100%. 100%. You need. They're interconnected. They're interconnected. So the truth is, everybody has a different kind of desire. You have to use your desire to the right thing. Not everybody has a desire to the same thing. The chachma is to take a desire, what you have in life, and to use it l'davar tov. So we're all different. You're a doctor, I'm a rabbi. So that's hopefully your desire The person should do what he desires to do. Hopefully, you desire to be to help people in that aspect, and you should use it out for davar tov, not only for dvarim gashmim, but for davar tov, for dvarim ruchnim. And so should should use out my desires and my ratzonos, and so to everybody here around the room, 100%, because that makes it easy. If you're never going to connect to your ratzon, it's going to be always hard. You'll do it. You might do it. You'll break yourself, but it's always going to be hard. It'll always ultimately be a struggle.
To do something against your will.
Right.
Say that in English.
To do something against your will is hard. That's it. Because we don't have, because we do things against our will because we have to do it. And we do things, Baruch Hashem, if we did everything what we desired, we would self-destruct. Hakinu v'atay v'kovid, metzina sadom. We know we're smart people. We realize we cannot have every desire. We cannot go after every ratzon because we'll self-destruct. We need to control it. But why control something? Have good desires. And then you wouldn't need to control nothing. More than Rebbe says over here, if I had a desire, ratzon, to do good, then good will be easy.
Well, because the animalistic part of us still is there.
Yeah. So,
It always comes and sneaks up on
but that's a very subburden. You have to rectify the animalistic. Yeah, that's the nachla. That is inheritance. You have to inherit the animalistic. If you're not going to inherit the animalistic, you're never going to transform it. That's the Ur Chodesh. See that?
That's a lifetime.
Oh, but the Rebbe said that's change. That's a new person. That's when you have a new person. Ur Chodesh. Now you're mensch. Now we have a new person. Until then, it's all good. It's Eiris and Kalim. It's the human being. But we're looking for something new. That's a new person. That's an Ur Chodesh.
You're new, Rabbi. I'm sure you've got battles every day.
Yeah, 100%. No question. No question. I'm not listening. Even but the point is, why do we always keep on making the same mistakes? We always keep on making the same mistakes. It says you to make a mistake is nothing wrong. To make the same mistake, right? Why do you always make the same mistake? Yeah, you ask tshuva, you make the same mistake. You ask tshuva, you make the same mistake. Because again, we're good people. You're a good person, and you make a mistake. No, never make the same mistake. Now you're an idiot. You made a mistake. You know you made a mistake, so now fix it. No, but you're not ready to fix it. You're not ready to have an Ur Chodesh. You're ready to just continue to be a person that makes mistakes. That's not an excuse. You have to stop making mistakes, especially the same mistakes. Yeah, you never always going to make mistakes. Not the same mistake.
The decision is not always outcome oriented, because if that was a deficient decision, it would be a decision. It was outcome oriented.
Correct. I said in my Tanya class, that the big difference between to react to something or to respond to something, right? Where they're called first responders. They're not reactors. We react to things. And that's why we make mistakes, because we're not professionals.
So what's the difference between
You need to be
reacting and
able to respond is when you know what you're doing. You understand? You respond, but you know how to respond. And when you know how to respond, that's when you don't make mistakes. When you react is when you make mistakes. Because it's emotional. You need to respond. You need to learn how to respond. So that doesn't mean something's going to come up. Something will come up. That's life. But you need to know how to respond. You need to become professional. Intellectual. That's professional. You want to react to things? Yeah, you'll react to things. And then you're going to mess it up. Because we react. We don't know what we're doing. You need to be first responders. You need to be able to respond. And you should respond. Something comes your way. Something happens. You have to know how to respond. That's the best reaction. Is when you respond intellectually. You're a professional. You know how to respond. The big havdil. Big havdil.
Then respond and react.
React
and respond. ما يبدل بينهم.
Think first.
emotional. React is emotional. It's emotional. A reaction. A person has a reaction. Somebody says something negative to me, I react. And usually, how do I react? Somebody says something negative to me, I say something negative to him. And that's my reaction. Because I react. Somebody punches me, I react, I punch him back.
Like an animal.
A response is somebody says something to me, and now I know I had to react. I had to be able to try to fix the situation. Why is the guy saying something to me? How do we create such thing that never happens again? Reaction, just creating another reaction. And a reaction, another reaction, and never ending. You need to respond. You need to be able to. And that's the point of the earth. That is what we're looking for. We're looking for something of a transformation. And that's a response where I can have the capability to transform the thing, not to just react to the thing, to push back on the thing, to just negate the thing.
So you say
that
responding is thinking before you make the move.
Responding is being
reacting is reacting right away.
Emotional.
Against what you're hearing.
Correct. It's emotional, intellectual. You need to be. Reaction is an amateur. Response is a professional. Be a professional.
Professionals do the same thing over and over. For me,
You might. Okay.
I've gotten to where it's the same.
A professional practice. He might have practiced 100 times.
Practice the response, so it becomes a reaction.
What does the Mishnah say? You have to learn something 100 times. When you learn something 100 times, you become a professional. That is practice. Chazara, practice. You need to practice. Every good responder has practiced and practiced and practiced, and you need to practice. If you don't practice, then you don't want to go to a doctor that just got out of college, right? You want to go to a doctor that has done it 100 times. He's been around. He's done it 100 times. He knows how to respond if something happens, right? Oops. There's no oops. We're not looking for the guy who has oops. We're looking for the guy who when a situation happens, he doesn't go oops. He says, he controls it. He understands what's going on.
He doesn't say, I'll call you later.
No, worse than I'll call you later. What?
These final line number 4, they say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Figure out what's going on with the guy and then you treat them. But they already have the training. Okay, now, sure, wait, something happens here. But it's not trained for the next.
You need to train. I mean, if there's nobody there, makom sheinish, hishtadel ish. There's no person there. You have to jump in and do your best you can do. But really, you should train. Everybody should be trained on CPR. Everybody should know how to respond to a thing. Not kill the guy while you're there. You try to save him. Okay, yeah. So it means it makes us stronger. So that's the thing. When a Jew in Islam, referring to the revelation of the essence of it through Berurah, it means that if a Jew makes a strong resolution to accomplish this, that's it. That's the word. If a Jew makes a strong resolution to accomplish this, he easily refines the land of the Side. Easily. Because that's what the Eibishter wanted. That was the Ratzon of the Eibishter. That was the Ratzon of God. If that was the Ratzon of God, why would God do that? Why would God put a person give him a nefesh of Bahamas for 13 years and then give him a nefesh elikis? That's not fair. No, that's what the whole purpose of why God wanted it. He created that concept. You didn't create that concept. God created a concept. So therefore, if a person makes that resolution, what's about mitzvah? But mitzvah is when a child makes a commitment. What's going to happen? He made a commitment. Suddenly he was part of a color mitzvahs. You expect anybody that never is part of it, everything, and bingo, in 10 minutes, he suddenly becomes responsible. It's impossible. It's the commitment. A Jew needs to make the commitment. That's it. It's on the commitment. He will easily, then if he makes that commitment, he'll easily refine the land of the 7 nations. It's the the rotzen. If a Jew makes a rotzen, he has the capability that comes easy. The entire world, making it a place of relation to the essence of God. And that's what we're looking for, the essence of the Kodesh, not others and vessels, but actually we're looking for Atzmus, the essence of the Kodesh Baruch. The fact that it seems that this refinement will take a lot of effort and toil, and the nations will even claim, according to the entire use of the physical world, for serving Hashem, not just for the ownership of Israel, the Goyish Welt, the Nefesh HaBahamis, your animalistic soul within you is saying, no, he's going to fight back. And as you see, in reality, the nations of the world fight back. And that you are thieves. And the physical world, they say, what do you mean? You're a godly entity. Be in Gan Eden. Stay in Gan Eden. What do you mean? You're a spirituality. What are you doing in the body? Stay in Gan Eden. Who asked you to come? is only due to the intensity of the concealment of the godliness. The only reason, that's the reason. And the reason is because we live in a world that is hidden, that godliness is hidden. The world doesn't experience the reality that the entire earth belongs to the Holy One, blessed be He, and that's what you have to reveal. You have to reveal to the world the essence. What's the essence? David created the world. That's it. Ultimately, even a guy understands that the Eibishter God created the world. And if God created the world, He's the balabas. He's the balabas. He's the owner. Ultimately, even your nefesh habahamis, your animalistic soul, understands that God created the world. That His true balabas is His true owner and is God. So you just have to emphasize to him that. However, the ultimate purpose of the concealment of godliness is to enable a Jew to search for Him from there, from within the concealment of gullus. That was the Eibishter Kei. The Gemara says, "Staka as HaKadosh Baruch Hu im Yisrael shepiz bein umas." You think gullus was only an aspect of a negativity? Gullus there was a great staka. The Eibishter gave to the Jewish Yidden that now they were spread out throughout the entire world. Till the destruction was a total. The Yidden were in one place or two in one area, and the Eibishter gave it stuck. He separated. He spread them out through the entire world, so they'll be able to not only rectify one area, but be able to rectify the entire world. So that's the positive aspect of Gullus, because over there you can see the greatness of a Jew. Over there you can see the greatness of a human being. That's why the prophet says, when Mashiach comes, we'll say, "Oy, Oitcha Hashem Kanaftabi." We'll say, "God, I miss a day in Gullus." I missed a day in Gullus because over there, right? You have Geula when you have redemption, and this godliness, and then everything is revealed. Over here, when things are hidden, here we can have I can search the goodness. I can search it. When it's revealed, there's no search. The search is over, and that's it. So we might be searching for revelation, but the greatness of the search, it's important because that's where we reveal our true being is by the search. Sometimes that's why it says daika sheish lichbeish. Sometimes the search of a zivug is all what we're in. Then we got it. No. What do we do now? It's over. Finished. Lichbeish, we captured. So what do you do now? I got it. I captured it.
Good night.
And therefore, it's not that way. A person has to realize, has to try to think that he has to keep it always. There has to always be the aspect of a secret. I'm still trying to find it. Matzah, Isha, matzah, I'm trying to find it. It's not found totally. Still secrets out there, certain things. So, that they search for Him will find Him, and that's the beauty. Every day I wake up, I'm searching for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Alter Rebbe explains that with this analogy and further, the one who hides himself from his young son in order to enable the son to demonstrate his wisdom. So the Rebbe is just like playing in a way. The Alter Rebbe says like hide and seek, with a husband, with the father hides from the son. So hopefully the son will. Wow, he wants to find the father. What? We hope so, right? That's what the Alter Rebbe said. They say the story. The Alter Rebbe came in one day and he saw his son crying. Mittel Rebbe, and he said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "Because we played hide and seek, and I hit so well that they stopped looking for me." So the Alter Rebbe said, he looked up to heaven, and he said, "You see, that's the problem. You hit so well that we stopped looking for you. And you don't hide that well. Hide, but not that well. Make it easy to find." The son needs to realize that his father is only hiding in order to enable his son to search for him and find him. So like this, the son will realize that it's something that he can't take for granted. It's something that he needs to work for. It's not that it's not there. It's something that he shouldn't take it for granted. And that's what we need to have. That's the purpose of the search. There's no purpose of, oh God, why is God hiding? God is hiding so that we would search for Him. And we would gain something. Furthermore, the Torah promises that when a Jew searches for Hashem within the concealment of Gullus, he will surely find Him. Finding Hashem means that a Jew will conquer the entire world and transform it into a place which reveals Hashem's essence. And Hashem will transform the nations to speak to pure language, to serve in a single purpose, and the kingship will belong to Hashem. That's what we say. We ultimately say, V'ha'isa Hashem amlucha, that what's the ultimate person? The ultimate will transform the Esav. V'ha'isa Hashem hamlucha. And ultimately, not that the nations of the world are going to come Yidden. No. They're going to stay Goyim, and the Yidden are going to stay Yidden. And the nations of the world are going to realize also that the Eibishter is because that's the Shev Mitzvah Neach. They'll also realize that God is that the Eibishter is the one who rules the world, and not that you have to become different. The Rebbe connects this concept to the theme of Yaakov Halach Hadaikai. Yaakov went on his way, referring to the Jews transforming in everyday life from the month of Tishrei. Because as Jews are certain that we will be able to conquer the world for Hashem, then when he goes on his way, Yaakov Halach Hadaikai, Jack hit the road with his everyday activities. At the conclusion of Shabbos B'Reishis, without the entire year, he isn't afraid of challenges. A Jew is not afraid of challenges. Bring it on. Why? As I said, because I'm prepared. I'm ready. I know how to respond. I'm not afraid of anything. There's nothing to frighten me. Rather, he goes on his way with certainty, with joy, with gladness of heart. This is why in certain nusuchs of Zmiris, we say, don't be afraid, Yaakov. On Saturday night, we say, Al Tira Avdi Yankov. We sing a song, Al Tira Avdi Yankov. Don't be afraid, Yankov, my servant, on Motzei Shabbos. The statement is especially relevant in Shabbos B'Reishis, as Jews enter in a full week of the year without any holidays. We leave Tishrei, was full of holidays. We're now leaving the holiday season. We're going into the daily week. After Shabbos, an additional soul which a Jew received on Shabbos leaves, and the Jew needs to descend into the levels of Yaakov, my servant, throughout the 6 mundane days of the week, refining the low words of Bri Yitzir, and that's the ultimate purpose. So we say to him, Al Tira Avdi Yaakov. Therefore, we get additional strength to accomplish it by saying, Al Tira, don't be afraid, Yaakov. Al Tira Avdi, because I'm with you, giving us the ability to ascend into the mundane world and refine it to the service of Hashem. The reason why every Jew, even someone who is in a lower level of Yaakov, in any place, at any time, even outside Eretz Yisrael, and an ordinary day of the week, and while performing everyday activity, has the ability, because Havaya, God is with you, Yaakov. Al Tira Avdi Yaakov, because I am with you, and you have nothing to worry about. Furthermore, when a Jew refines the physical world through Birudim, he becomes a partner with Hashem in the work of creation by bringing something new into creation. That's his avodah. You have to take the darkness and transform it to light. That's bringing new. Not just taking the darkness and pushing it away, taking the darkness, overcoming the dark. No, it's transforming it. That is where you're partner with God in creation. Similarly to speak, the fact that Hashem brings a new thing into existence. When he serves Hashem by refining the physical world and making it into a place where it reveals Hashem's essence, he brings something new into the world. He reveals a new revelation of Hashem's essence, which hasn't been revealed before in creation. This is another reason why we read after creation of the world each year on the Shabbos B'Reishis. That's why, again, we do it every year. We read Shabbos B'Reishis. Right after Tishrei, we read Shabbos B'Reishis. Why? Why do we read Shabbos B'Reishis? Because after we just celebrated the Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the world, we say why the world was created. The world was created to inherit the 7 nations. The world and everything is created anew and in a new way as a result of our Birudim, our rectification. Ultimately, this will lead us to new heavens and new earth, the revelation of new Eretz Yisrael, which will be revealed with the coming of Mashiach ben Heda.